guys, Manta79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days. Alrighty then, let's begin pressing the A button now.
Vanguard Deer Days.
Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Brandt Gates, Blitz CEO Welstra, D-BT08. And alrighty, let's go to the edit deck menu, entering edit deck, and off we go. Here we are in the deck menu. Like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building in today's deck profile video is a Brandt Gates, Blitz CEO Welstra deck made up of cards only available up until D-BT08. Alright, so first let's go to the filter settings and to pack, show only cards from D-BT1, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT2, A Brush of the Legends, D-BT3, Advance of Intertwined Stars, D-BT4, Awakening of Chakrabarti, D-BT5, Triumphant Return of Brave Heroes, Festival Collection 2021, Festival Collection 2022, Roll Pack number 1, D-BT6, Blazing Dragon Reborn, D-BT7, Raging Flame Against the Emerald Storm, and D-BT8, Minerva Rising. Applying filter, pack filters applied, and so let's begin. First, the Grade 3 lineup. And now for the deck's Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck Grade 3, Blitz CEO Welstra. Skills, first skill, Auto. As a Vanguard, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose a product from your order zone and operate it. Activate its operate ability. Second skill, Auto. As a Vanguard, when you operate a product, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Blitz CEO Welstra, it's the main Grade 3 to ride this deck. Its skills, the first skill, when attacking the Vanguard, you can operate any product from your order zone to use its operate ability to help in your later game strategy. And the second skill, whenever you operate a product, you can give plus 5,000 power to your Vanguard. And the best part of the skill, it's stackable. For if you have the chance to operate multiple products in the same turn, you can then continue stacking power to your Vanguard, giving your Vanguard Welstra more power to make it easier to either to pressure your opponent or to finish him off with. And alright, the Grade 3 Blitz CEO Welstra. We have 4 in the deck, 1 in the ride deck, 3 in the main deck. Next up, the Grade 3. Set order, product, Mobile Fortress of Obliteration, Freischütz Maximum. Skills, first skill, continuous. You cannot play this card. Second skill, Auto. Operate Auto from the order zone. When this card is operated, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Choose one of your opponent's Vanguards, and it gets minus 5,000 power until end of turn. And then cost, Counterblast 1, and return a rear guard to hand. If the cost is paid, call this card as a 23,000 power, 1 critical normal unit to an open rearguard circle. If you called a card, put that unit into the order zone at the end of the turn. So for Freischütz Maximum, it's one of the main product cards to play in your Welstra deck with skill. When operated in the order zone, not only do you get to retire an opponent's rear guard, you can also weaken their Vanguard by 5,000 power, and if the additional cost of Counterblast and returning your rear guard to hand, you can also have a powerful 23,000 point attacker for your front row, giving you a easier chance to not only clear your opponent's formation, make it easier for your attacks to land, and to have another attacker to pressure or finish them off with. And okie dokie, the Grade 3 set order, product, Mobile Fortress of Obliteration, Freischütz Maximum. We have 3 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 3, Blitz Top Sails and Rig. Skill, action as a rear guard. If you have a Vanguard of Welstra in its card name, cost, retire this unit. If the cost is paid, search your deck or drop for up to 1 Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischütz or a Mobile Fortress of Obliteration Freischütz Maximum. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and if you search your deck, stop your deck. So for Anrig, a support card for the Welstra deck with skill, when the conditions of its skill are met and you pay the cost, you can then secure from your deck or drop a Freischütz or Freischütz Maximum to make use of in your later game strategy. And affirmative, the Grade 3, Blitz Top Sails and Rig. We have 4 in the deck. And of that, we covered the deck's Grade 3 lineup. Next, let's go to the deck's Grade 2 lineup. And now for the deck's Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck Grade 2, Blitz Technology Researcher Uber. Skills, first skill, action as a Vanguard once per turn. Cost, Soul Blast 1. If the cost and paid, choose a product from your order zone and operate it. Activate its operate ability. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is ruled upon, cost, put a product from your order zone into drop. If the cost and paid, search your deck or hand for a Grade 2 product card, put into your order zone. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. If you put a card from hand, draw a card. So for Uber, the main Grade 2 to ride this deck. If its skill is the first skill, by paying the cost, you can operate any product in your order zone to use its operate ability, giving you a powerful skill to make use of early in the fight to make you to either to pressure your opponent with the products you have in your order zone, depending on what you have in your disposal, or to simply use your products to support your upcoming game strategy with. And the second skill, when written on the top of, by paying the cost, you can then search your deck for a Grade 2 product card to deploy to your order zone to help in your upcoming strategies. And okie dokie, the Grade 2 Blitz Technology Researcher Uber, we have one in the right deck. Next up, the Grade 2 Blitz Engineer Hofleo. Skills, first skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the rear guard, if you did not operate a product this turn, cost, Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1. If the cost and paid, choose a product from your order zone and operate it. Activate its operate ability. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if you operate a product this turn, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. So for Hofleo, a support card for the Welstra deck with its skill, the first skill, when called onto the rear guard while meeting the conditions of its skill and paying the cost, you can operate any product from your order zone to use its operate ability to help in your upcoming game strategy. And the second skill, as long as the conditions of the second skill are met, you can turn your Hofleo into a potential 13,000 point attacker for your front row. And affirmative, the Grade 2 Blitz Engineer Hofleo, we have 2 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 2 Blitz Accounting Department Head Sadio. Skill, Auto as a rear guard. When you operate a Mobile Fortress of Obliteration, Freischutz Maximum, if you did not countercharge this turn, cost, Soul Blast 1. If the cost and paid, countercharge 1. So for Sadio, another support card for the Welstra deck with its skill. When the conditions of its skill are met and the cost has been paid, you can refund your counterblast for later skills. And alrighty, the Grade 2 Blitz Accounting Department Head Sadio, we have 2 in the deck. And next up, the Grade 2 Set Order Product Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischutz. Skills, first skill, Order. After a set order is played, put into your order zone. Second skill, Auto, operate Auto from the order zone. When this card is operated, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and retire it. If you do not retire a card, choose one of your opponent's vanguards and it gets plus minus 5,000 power until end of turn. Third skill, Auto from the order zone. When your Grade 3 or greater vanguard is placed by riding from Grade 3, cost, put this card into your drop. If the cost and paid, search your deck or hand for up to 1 Mobile Fortress of Obliteration Freischutz Maximum. Put into your order zone. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. If you put a card from hand, draw a card. So for Freischutz, it's one of the main product cards to play in your Welstra deck. With its skill, the second skill, when operated from the order zone, you have the chance to either to retire one of your opponent's front row rear guards or to weaken their opponent's vanguard by 5,000 power. Depending on either way, you have the chance to not only clear out their formation, but you can also have the chance to weaken their vanguard, making it easier for your upcoming attacks to hit and to pressure your opponent with. And the third skill, when riding from Grade 3 to Grade 3 by paying the cost, you can then secure a Freischutz Maximum from hand or deck onto your order zone, giving you a powerful order card to make use of in your upcoming game strategy. And okay, the Grade 2 Set Order Product Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischutz. We have 2 in the deck. And of that, we just about covered the deck's Grade 2 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's Grade 1 lineup. And now for the deck's Grade 1 lineup. For the Grade 1s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck Grade 1 Blitz Programmer Strazer. Skill, Auto. When this unit is rolled upon, search your deck or hand for up to 1 Grade 1 product card. Put into your order zone. if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. If you put a card from hand, draw a card. So for Strazer, it's the main great one to ride this deck. Its skill, when written in the top of, you can then search your hand or deck for a Great One product card to deploy to the order zone to give you a product card in order zone to make use of in your upcoming game strategy. And alrighty, the Great One Blitz Programmer Strazer. We have one in the right deck. Next up, the Great One Detonation Monster Bubble Mine. Skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, unit boosted. If your order zone has a set order, cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, countercharge 1. So for Bubble Mine, a powerful Great One to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks. With skill, after boosting the attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, not only do you get to build up your soul for later soul blast, but you can also refund your counter blast for later skills. And affirmative, the Great One Detonation Monster Bubble Mine. We have 3 in the deck. Next up, the Great One Planet Wall Dragon Sentinel Perfect Guard. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Planet Wall Dragon, a perfect guard for the Brandt Gate Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with and discarding 1 card from your hand, you can block an enemy attack. But it also features an ability unique to all D standard format perfect guards, which is, when used to guard with while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Planet Wall Dragon a potential no-cost perfect guard in desperate last resort situations. And confirm, the Great One Planet Wall Dragon. We have 3 in the deck. Next up, the Great One Blitz Order Elementaria Sanctitude. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Continuous. You may only have 1 Elementaria Sanctitude in the deck. Third skill, Order. If your opponent's Vanguard has triple drive, this ability can be played without paying the cost. Plays with a cost of, discard a card from hand if your Vanguard is grade 3 or less. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. Remove this card. So for Elementaria Sanctitude, it's the Blitz Order version of the Perfect Guard. Like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When played and discarding 1 card from your hand, you can block an enemy attack. But ideally, Elementaria Sanctitude works best against opponents who play decks that specialize in having a Vanguard of triple drive, for example a grade 4 G unit, or a Vanguard whose drive check was increased by skill or card effect. Against such opponents, Elementaria Sanctitude then can serve as a potential no-cost perfect guard. And alright, the Great One Blitz Order Elementaria Sanctitude. We have 1 in the deck. Next up, the Great One Blitz Mechanic Iskra. Skill, action as a rear guard. If you did not operate a product this turn, cost, counterblast 1 and rest this unit. If the cost is paid, choose a product from your order zone and operate it. Activate its operate ability. So for Blitz Mechanic Iskra, a support card for the Welstra deck with its skill, when the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you can operate any product card in your order zone, making use of its operate ability for your upcoming game strategy. And okie dokie, the Great One Blitz Mechanic Iskra. We have 2 in the deck. Next up, the Great One Blitz Mechanic Start. Skill, action as a rear guard. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, cost, counterblast 1 and put a Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischütz from your order zone into drop and retire this unit. If the cost is paid, choose up to 1 Mobile Fortress of Obliteration Freischütz Maximum from hand and put it to the order zone. So for start, another support card for the Welstra deck with skill. When the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you can secure a Freischütz Maximum from hand to the order zone, giving you a powerful order to play from your order zone for your upcoming game strategy. And affirmative, the Great One Blitz Mechanic Start. We have 3 in the deck. Next up, the Great One Set Order Product Mobile Kennel in Garten. Skills, first skill, Order. After a set order is played, put into your order zone. Second skill, Auto. When this card is put from hand or order zone into drop during your turn, put this card into order zone or soul. Third skill, Auto. Operate Auto from the order zone. When this card is operated, call this card as a 10,000 power, 1 critical normal unit with boost to an open rear card circle, and put that unit into the order zone at the end of the turn. So for Engarten, another product card that's mainly meant to be played in the Welstra deck, with its skill to second skill. In the event you would either discard Engarten from hand to drop zone or retire it from the order zone, you have the chance to either to return it to the order zone or to build up your soul for later soul blasts. And the third skill, when operated, you can then turn your Engarten into a potential 10,000 point attacker for your front row or a 10,000 point booster for your back row. And alright, the Great One set order product Mobile Kennel Engarten. We have 2 in the deck. And of that, we covered the deck's Great One lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's Great Zero lineup. And now for the deck's Great Zero lineup. For the Great Zeros in this deck, we are playing Right Deck Great Zero, Blitz Mechanic Wharton. Skill Auto. When this unit is rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Wharton, it's the starting unit of this deck. Like any other starting unit in the D standard format, it features the same skill and activation. When written on top of, if you're the second to go in the game, draw 1 card. And alright, the Great Zero Blitz Mechanic Wharton starting unit, we have 1 in the right deck. And with that, we've finished covering the deck's Great Zero lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's Trigger lineup. And now for the Trigger lineup. For the triggers in this deck, we are playing Great Zero, Star Dragon, D Infinitude, Elder Breath, Over Trigger. Skill, Trigger, Additional Effect. Double the power and critical of all of your front row units until end of turn. Increase to double its power and critical when activated. So for Elder Breath, it's the Over Trigger for the Brandt Gate Nation. Like any other Over Trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw 1 card. But it also features an ability unique to it alone. Its skill, when revealed during a drive check on your turn, you can then double the power and critical of all front row units, Vanguard and Rearguard included, thus giving you a huge boost in power to make it easier to finish off or at least pressure your opponent with the increased power and critical this trigger provides. And alright, the Great Zero, Star Dragon, D Infinitude, Elder Breath, Over Trigger, we have 1 in the deck. Next up, the Great Zero, Patrol Robo, Decker Cop, Critical Trigger. Skill, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Decker Cop, it's a powerful critical trigger to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks with its skill. After boosting an attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Decker Cop from your rear guard into your soul, not only do you get to build up your soul for later soul blast, but you can also give one of the remaining attackers in your field, Vanguard or rear guard, a little extra power to work with. And okie dokie, the Great Zero, Patrol Robo, Decker Cop, Critical Trigger, we have 4 in the deck. Next up, the Great Zero, Aurora Battle Princess, Lurus Yellow, Critical Trigger, we have 3 in the deck. And next, the Great Zero, Amaluric Connector, Draw Trigger, Skill Continuous as a Guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Amaluric, a powerful draw trigger to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks with its skill, when used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, you can then turn your Amaluric Connector into a potential 10,000 point shield on its own. And affirmative, the Great Zero, Amaluric Connector, Draw Trigger, we have 4 in the deck. Next up, the Great Zero, Lady Healer of the Creaking World, Heal Trigger. Skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Active if this battle is its second attack this turn or more. So for Lady Healer, a powerful heal trigger to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks. Your skill, when used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, you can then turn your Lady Healer of the Creaking World into a potential 25,000 point shield on their own. Ideally, Lady Healer is a counter heal best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in increasing the number of attacks they make by restanding either their Vanguard or Rear Guard against such opponents. Lady Healer is a powerful counter heal to use against them. And okay, the Grade 0 Lady Healer of the Quaking World heal trigger, we have 2 in the deck. And next, the Grade 0 Whistling Arrow of Recursion Alphafold heal trigger, skill auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, if the attacking unit's critical is 2 or greater, and its critical is increased by a non-trigger effect ability, or its original critical is 2 or greater, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. So for Alphafold, it's another powerful heal trigger to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks with skill. When used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, Alphafold then can serve as a potential 25,000 point shield on its own. Ideally, Alphafold is a counter heal, best played against opponents who play decks to specialize in increasing their unit's critical, Vanguard or Rear Guard by skill or card effect. Against such opponents, Alphafold can then serve as a very powerful defender against such opponents. And alright, the Grade 0 Whistling Arrow of Recursion Alphafold, we have 2 in the deck. And that, the trigger lineup is done. And that, the deck's been built, card effects explained. For the cards in this deck we are playing, 4 Grade 3 Blitz CEO Welstra, 3 Grade 3 Mobile Fortress of Obliteration Freischütz Maximum, 4 Grade 3 Blitz Top Sails Anrig, 2 Grade 2 Blitz Engineer Hofleo, 2 Grade 2 Blitz Accounting Department Head Sadio, 1 Grade 2 Blitz Technology Researcher Uber, 2 Grade 2 Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischütz, 3 Grade 1 Detonation Monster Bubble Mine, 3 Grade 1 Planet Wall Dragon, 1 Grade 1 Elementaria Sanctitude, 2 Grade 1 Blitz Mechanic Iskra, 3 Grade 1 Blitz Mechanic Start, 1 Grade 1 Blitz Programmer Strazer, 2 Grade 1 Mobile Kennel Ingarten, 1 Grade 0 Blitz Mechanic Wharton starting unit. And for the triggers in this deck we are playing, 1 Star Dragon Deity of Infinitude Elder Breath Over Trigger, 7 Critical Triggers, 4 Draw Triggers, and 4 Heal Triggers. With that, the deck's been built, card effects explained. Next, let's get on to testing out the deck. And here we are in the main menu, going to test out the deck. So, off to Fight menu, and to CPU Fight. Selecting the deck I just built, the Brandt Gates, Blitz CEO Welstra, D-BT08 deck. And selecting deck, and now choosing my opponent. For the opponent I'm gonna test it out on, I'm gonna test it out against, let's see. I guess I'll use it against, how about Yu Kondo, normal difficulty. Click, and the battle begins. Let's get started. And we're in the fight, deciding who goes first. So, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors to rock, I lose, going second. Drawing our starting hands. I got myself a draw trigger, perfect guard, a bubble mine, a start, and a Hofleo. Not some bad draws, so holding on to all normal units, redrawing triggers, redraw. Ah, my over trigger, come on! I lost my over trigger at the beginning of the fight. How unlucky can I get? Fine, whatever, my opponent rides to Reno, Grade 1, and if their turn, my turn. I draw! Ah, heal trigger, come on! So unlucky! First my over trigger and now one heal trigger. Ah, what rotten luck. Fine, I'll make it work, so on my right deck, I'm riding Blitz Programmer Strazer. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding heal trigger Alphafold and ride Strazer. Skill of Wharton, draw one card. Come on, not a trigger, please not a trigger. Yes, Persona Ride, finally something good. Then going to the battle phase. Strazer attacks the Vanguard, 8k to 8k. D-Tech goes through, drive check. Yes, critical trigger. I give all effects to my Vanguard. Critical added and power added. That's 2 damage to the opponent. And boom! Damage check first. No trigger, safe. Second check.
ダメージチェック
Yes, front trigger. Trigger wasted. Power wasted, and that's a good sign for me. End of my turn. Now it's my opponent's turn. My opponent rides to the Great 2. Blaze Maiden Ryu. Skill of Reno. Superior called Trickstar to the rear guard. And now, Overdress Virina. Oh, she has one. And calling Teresa, Mirin, and Mirin. Of near full formation. This is going to be rough, so let's see. With Virina's Overdress skill plus 10,000 power, 26,000 power, not counting triggers, so alright, gonna let the first attack go through, block the Vanguard, and I'll let the rear guard Virina go through. No guard, gonna take it.
No guard.
Drop. Here it comes. Ow. Damage check. No trigger. Ah, Welstra lost a Persona Ride card. Vanguard to Vanguard, 10k to 8k. Nope, that's 12k to 8k. I guard with Decker Cop, 23k. Over trigger to pass. Here it comes. Drive check. Yeah, critical trigger. Come on, so lucky. I blocked the Vanguard, but he's giving it all to his Virina. This is gonna be rough. And ka-chink. Safe. Now here comes Virina boosted by Mirin. That's 26,000 power, overdress skill plus another 10,000. 36,000 power, 2 criticals. No guard, gonna take it.
No guard.
Here it comes. Ow. Damage check first. Yes, draw trigger. So finally something good. Draw. Oh, come on. I drew another heal trigger. So unlucky. Power to Vanguard. And second check. Ah, critical trigger. Come on. Why are all my triggers working against me this fight? Fine, whatever. Giving it all to Vanguard. Trigger effects wasted. And this is rough. 2 heal triggers and over trigger out of the deck. My turn, stand and draw. I draw Sadio. I ride from the right deck. Blitz Technology Researcher Uber. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding the heal trigger. Yep, discarding the heal trigger. Quaking World, discard. And ride Uber. Then I activate Strazer skill. Deploying a Great One product from the deck or hand. I select Mobile Kennel and Garten to the order zone. There we go. Next up, I'm calling Sadio and activating Uber skill. Soul Blast 1, Soul Blast, and operate a product. I operate Garten, Superior Call to the rear guard. And call to the front row. And I think that should be enough. Yep, just about enough. Ending the main phase, going to battle phase. First, Sadio attacks the rear guard Virina, 10k. The attack goes through, and bang bang bang, one less rear guard to worry about. Now, Uber attacks the Vanguard, 10k. The attack goes through, drive check. Yes, critical trigger, lucky. Critical to the Vanguard, power to Ingarten. Critical up and power up. 2 damage to the opponent. And bang bang bang, damage 1. Ah, heal trigger, lucky. Cannot heal but powers up. Second check.
ダメージチェック
No trigger, Nirvana, 1 less card to Persona Ride with. Now, here we go. Ingarten attacks the Vanguard, 20k. The attack goes through, and bang bang bang, 1 more damage. Damage check. Yes, front trigger, front wasted.
パワー出す
All the triggers are working against me and with me somehow. Alright, Ingarten returns to the order zone. There we go. Go back, little guy. End of my turn, my opponent's turn. He rides the Great 3. Chakrabarti Divine Dragon Nirvana. Activating Ryu's skill, searching deck for Virina and adding to hand. And now, Nirvana skill, discarding a card with perfect guard to call Trickstar. Overdress to Virina, it came back. Vanguard to Vanguard. And Nirvana skill, Counterblast 1, Powered Vanguard and Virina, 23k. Alright, I have tons of cards to defend with, so let the Vanguard go through, block the remaining rear guards, so no guard, taking it. Twin Drive, first check, no trigger, grade 2, and second check,
ドライブチェック
no trigger, same grade 2, safe, so just 1 damage.
これで終わりにします
Here it comes. Ow! Damage check. No trigger, Hofleo.
ヴァンガード
And
が
now,
します
Virina to Vanguard, 26,000 power, overdress skill, plus 10,000 power. Is he gonna Soul Blast? Yep, Soul Blasting, retiring Sadio. Uh-oh. Alright, no guard, gonna take it. Here it comes. Ow! Damage check. Yes, critical trigger, lucky. All effects to Vanguard. Now the remaining rear guard cannot attack. This is getting pretty tiresome. Alright, end of their turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I drew the start. I ride from the right deck, Blitz CEO Welstra. From the right, for the hand cost, I'm discarding start, discard, and ride Blitz CEO Welstra. Skill Uber. Retiring Eingarten from the order zone. And deploying from the deck, Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischütz. Go! And then Eingarten skill. I will choose to return it to the order zone. There we go, back to the order zone. Next, I call the rear guard Hofleo. Hofleo skill, Counterblast 1, Counterblast and Soul Blast. I operate a product. I choose to operate Freischütz. I retire a rear guard. Power up Hofleo as well. Retiring Virina. There we go. And Welstra skill plus 5,000 power. And then I'm calling Bubble Mine to the rear guard. Call. That ought to be enough. On to battle phase. First, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. Skill activated. I operate from the order zone, Mobile Kennel and Garten. And deploying it to the orders from the order zone to the rear guard. Superior call. Over here in the front row. And then Welstra skill plus 5,000 power. But 3k to this 13k. Double guard, 23k. Intercept, 28k. 1 trigger to pass. Drive check first. Yeah, draw trigger. I can break through. I drew a critical trigger. All effects to Vanguard. And second check. Yes, critical trigger. Lucky. I give the critical to my Vanguard and power to... Yep, giving the power to Eingarten. Critical up and power up. That's 2 damage to my opponent. And... boom! Damage check. Critical trigger. Yes, trigger effect wasted. 6 damage, I win.
パワープラス
And... game over! That was a pretty stressful fight, despite the triggers working against me and still not being able to bring out Freischütz Maximum this fight. I got to use the new cards in the deck pretty well, so I got win, double trigger, 1 within 6 turns, and did a superior call. I got 1450 VP, total 16,125 VP. Pressing A to go next, leaving fight, returning to fight menu. And back to the fight menu, leaving fight menu, going back to main menu, and to the edit deck menu. With that, the deck has been built, Cardfight explained, and I just tested the deck out in front of you. So, first I want to say is, thank you to the viewers for watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you'll show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that I say, goodbye and see you all soon!